Welcome to Chapter 25 of The Good Earth. As always, I will begin with a brief synopsis of the chapter, followed by some key points to pay attention to, and then finish off with some big ideas that the author is looking at, as well as asking some questions that I think are important to consider as you read the chapter. In this chapter, Wang Lung sets out once and for all to solve his children's problems. He doesn't want to make the same mistakes that he has made with his first son, so he goes to the grain merchant to arrange for an apprenticeship for his second son. While he is there, he also discovers that the merchant has a son about the same age as his daughter. When he comes home, he sends Cuckoo to make arrangements so that those two can be married at a future date. This leaves Wang Lung feeling like he has completed his fatherly duties and that all will now be well with his family. At this time, he finds his daughter crying because her feet hurt. Olan has bound her feet, following the practice in China of binding feet in order to increase the attractiveness of the women. She remarks that her mother believes that it is because of her feet that Wang Lung no longer loves her mother. At this point, Wang Lung realizes that he has not been the perfect husband to Olan, but it is too late. Olan is terminally ill. When he goes to get the doctor is unable to do anything for her, and Olan is going to die. At the end of the chapter, Wang Lung finds a solitary place and cries. Pay attention to the negotiation process and the language used between Wang Lung and the grain merchant. Notice that the language used is not typical of English speakers or men conducting business in the West. This is the author's attempt to convey a dialect representative of rural China. You will probably have noticed this dialect being used in other parts of the story. Once again, you should keep in mind that this is an outsider's interpretation of a foreign culture. Also notice that Wang Lung is getting better at managing his family's affairs. Just as he had little skill at doing land deals in the beginning and has now mastered that skill, he is also mastering the skill of directing his children. Finally, notice his reaction to Olan's diagnosis. This is a major event in his life, and it will stay with him for the rest of the novel. At this point in the book, I think it is a good idea to reflect on marriage. For better or worse, Wang Lung and Olan's marriage has ended, not through divorce, but through death. Wang Lung, of course, still has Lotus. These two relationships serve different purposes in Wang Lung's life and in the story. In ancient cultures, marriage was a means of securing family property rights and of ensuring that the family business would go on. Of course, it was also a way of ensuring that there would be children so that the genetic line could continue. In most ancient cultures, it was simpler, less legal, but also highly ritualized. Although each culture marriage is different and generalizations are difficult to make. What about your culture? What is the purpose of marriage? How is it carried out? Is marriage as popular as it was in the past? What has changed about it? Have the rituals changed? Have the reasons for marriage changed? What about the laws and customs? Why do you think changes in marriage have occurred? What about the future? Do you think there will be more changes? If so, what kinds of changes and why?